Hey everybody, Jason Burmis here. Obviously getting a little later. So for everybody that watched my previous video, just to let everybody know, I actually didn't see Jones in the bar after that, but later on I saw him again leaving with his wife, and I mean heavy security. You got like 4 or 5 security guys around the guy at all times. But that's not why we're doing this video. We're doing this video because Cassandra Fairbanks has released audio of the new Intel director's assistant. How you doing, Erica? Very good to see you. Um, that we were talking about Grinnell. So this is the thing that a lot of people don't give Cassandra Fairbanks credit. And I'm just going to say this. This is why you listen to sources. All sources. Because, she's kept this audio for a long time and hasn't put it out there. And she's dealing with high level people. The new Intel officer, Grinnell, has been working on this Assange case, now totally out there by their lawyers, right? They did that not today, but yesterday, in the first day of the trial, talked about it. Ever since Rohrabacher went down and basically offered Assange the deal for the evidence to give up his whistleblower. And Assange, talking to Kim.com, he releases what? He releases a conversation with Assange, basically saying he opened up the diplomatic channels for him. Okay? And guys, again, it's so important to look at this stuff. Julian Assange has never, ever, ever put somebody in danger. That's the narrative they're trying to sell you. I wish I could show you this on this. You need to go to Cassandra's Twitter right now. But what's the big bombshell with Trump? By the way, thumbs this video up. And you can go listen to it. It's a minute and 40. She's going to release more of this audio. And this stuff's already kind of being leaked to the press, but they're connotating it in a negative manner, right? So Aaron Swartz is this assistant to Grinnell, who's now the new Intel officer and the person behind this indictment, okay? Well, apparently ABC News reported on something, but then Cassandra Fairbanks went a little further in her tweet, and she gets a phone call from Aaron Swartz, okay? And it's a frantic phone call, all right? Now, on the flip side of that, there's information out there, probably true information, that she's saying that her job was called, they were threatened, blackmail, et cetera, et cetera. What we were seeing is, one side of the story, this desperation, she's going to release more audio. But specifically, at his most angry, he says these are on orders on behalf of the president. Let's thumbs this up, guys. 83 watching, because this is important. And I've said this. Look, I don't think that Trump went in there with a warmongering heart. That's not anything I've ever said. But at the same time, I always felt like the people he surrounded him with would show him threats that were not real. And the threat that was not real in the case of WikiLeaks after the fact is what? It's still not an excuse, by the way. Is what? That somehow people disappeared that were U.S. agents and assets because of the documents that Julian leaked. Okay? And that's one narrative. And I think that's just part of it. I also think that this president has an ego. And by him, offering him the hand of mercy, right? By not going like this, teetering and saying, I'm going to offer you this, but you got to take it. And then him not doing that could make him a little upset. That could make him, impair his decisions on what to do with Julian Assange. So specifically and clearly what we need to understand, though, is that it goes well beyond that, right? So we know about now, we can confirm that Trump had direct involvement with Grinnell, the new Intel officer, that was putting this indictment together post-Rohrabacher visit, okay? And that's an important timeline. Now, because of this, we now are in a situation where Assange, if extradited, will go to a kangaroo court. Now, I want to reiterate this. I've told people there will be no actual trial that's real. Everybody that's went to court here, every whistleblower has lost. Every one. So in no way, shape, or form can you call a court that has never acquitted somebody anything but a kangaroo court, including the judge who has presided over all of these cases. You know, from the indictments on Snowden that still have not been served, to the Assange case, to John Kiriakou and others, and of course John Kiriakou, the man who blew the whistle on torture via the CIA. Okay, via the CIA. So this audio clearly shows that the president ordered Grinnell to write this indictment up. Now, what else have we learned? We've also learned that Sheldon Adelson's corporation, MC Global, because the spy game is no longer the CIA, the NSA, the FBI, the MI5, the MI6, all right, etc., the ISI, right, the Mossad. It's subdivisions like Stratford and Black Cube and Booz Allen Hamilton. And it's now corporate to the point where Sheldon Adelson is basically contracted by the Central Intelligence Agency for that level of plausible deniability, where an ex-employee says that they discussed poisoning Julian Assange, they discussed killing him, murdering him, and then making it look like an accident. And thumbs this up, guys. We only got 49 thumbs, 176 watching. Giving you the straight facts, Jack. And even kidnapping him, which essentially is what was done at the Ecuadorian embassy. Okay? And kudos to Cassandra Fairbanks for putting this audio out, especially when a separate narrative is trying to be built in the media that this man is somehow dangerous and put lives at risk. Julian Assange has vetted the documents and never, ever, ever, ever put somebody's life at risk. In fact, I would say this, overtly so, that he's redacted too much. For instance, I think the burden of proof should certainly be on an intelligence apparatus that status quo is to lie to prove that they're agents or assets, because they'll never say they were an employee of the CIA, disappeared because of the Assange information. When you're an asset, when you're in that game, I hate to tell you, but if you're not straight up military trained, if you're recruited, now some of those people are really good, but you got to understand, FBI assets often are lifelong criminals that are in some dirty shit, that cross people over. So prove to me that Julian Assange, even if the leaks they're saying were responsible, were actually responsible, even though David Lee is the one that put the password to the encrypted files. And here's the deal. I mean, would Julian Assange be the first person with a dead man switch? It's a possibility with those encryption numbers, because they could go out there. And, I've been a big critic of that. So right now, it's really important. And by the way, guys, if you didn't know, I'm at this First Amendment conference. I mean, it's an emergency First Amendment hearing, supposedly, or event. And Gavin McInnes, Millie Weaver, Owen Schroyer, and of course Alex Jones is here. And they're going to be speaking. Now, Jones is not hiding under the bed. Now, Patrick Howley, who's one of the people who I've interviewed in the past and is helping put on this event, actually just got back to me. I was hoping he was going to be in town tonight, and I was going to try to live stream with him and talk about this event, but we're doing it tomorrow. Supposedly he's getting here in the afternoon. I'm going to be going with Action for Assange in the morning. By then, we'll already pretty much have a lot of the information from the trial. But think about that. A third-party organization openly talking about killing somebody who's just publicly disclosing information. And that's the other thing. You have to talk about the Trump administration and this document of the National Counterintelligence 2020 to 2022. When public disclosure organizations, hacktivists and leaktivists are put in the same sentence as ISIS and Al Qaeda, beware. Beware. So, and that's an important thing. If we're going to talk about the First Amendment tomorrow, these are issues that must be addressed. This is not a left or right issue at all, not even close. So, you know, kudos to Cassandra Fairbanks. I mean, just top-notch job putting this stuff out. I hope if you have more, and as the case goes on, and you've secured it. You know, a lot of people don't, I mean, I guess if you really follow her, you know that she's a, you know, a mother, a single mother. That's not easy. Raising kids isn't easy on top of that. You have a family, that adds an extra layer to everything. So, we all have our faults, by the way, and I'm not fully endorsing everything she's done or anybody. But you know, I saw a really good video. I actually tweeted it out, and I think that people need to go check that out and realize that your truth may not be the truth, and you have to accept that, right? I get things wrong. I know I do. We talked about Weinstein, and I was sure that he wasn't going to jail. And I mean, and if he was, it was going to be 18 months. He's looking at 5 to 29 with more cases coming. And they didn't just let him go like Claire Bronfman. So maybe there is some justice in the world. I don't know if we got the yin-yang balance or whatnot, but I believe that we have to keep fighting. So guys, thank you so much. We're going to keep up on the Assange case. Go check out the Action for Assange channel. Go check out Taylor Hudak, who is also on the ground out there. They are all over this case. I'm going to get back to watching the terrible debates, which were pretty hard to watch, but I got to keep up. Love you guys. See you on the flip. Support the GoFundMe. This little box of a room, it's a box. There's the wall, there's the bathroom, there's the other wall. It costs a lot of money to do this. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon, guys.